Okay, now we're ready.
Okay. Um, so I have actually two questions. They're not really related at all. The first one is that my dad, who I have a really complicated relationship with, this is being recorded. Yeah, okay. I have a complicated relationship. But he had heart surgery recently and he's going to be having another heart surgery. And I am really, I want to be there for him. And I'm actually really enjoying spending time with him. And he's also not, both from an emotional standpoint and a physical standpoint, he's not taking care of himself. And I know that like, that's his life, that's his path, and I don't get to control that. But I'm finding all of these deep feelings of like, I am just getting to meet you for the first time really in my life. And it just kind of feels like there's this sort of resentment of like, you're going to take my dad away from me again. Yeah, is the first one. Maybe we should just go with that one, actually.
Go with that one. Okay. Can you tell me your full name just 3 times? You don't have to, just say it quickly.
Sophia Babai, Sophia Babai, Sophia Babai.
Thank you. Okay. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I'm seeing in your energy was just kind of what you just described is you wanted a deeper connection with your father for a long time. And also there's some things that you've been wanting to say that have been left unsaid. And this is kind of the core what's coming up here, because there is definitely the part of gosh, this is what I've been wanting, the connection, and I don't want it to leave. But there's also this part of, let me see how to exactly say it. There's this part of you that feels and this is, I want to say this correctly because this is the piece that your soul is really wanting to work on here. There's this piece of you that doesn't want to leave things unsaid. Let me say it like that. But you're also wanting to honor because there's this piece of you that doesn't want to leave things unsaid, but you also don't want to rush into saying them because you want to honor this other piece of like connection, right?
Yeah.
So there's some ways that you can say the things that you want to say. So I want to speak to that first. There's some ways you can say the things you want to say without, because you're feeling, which is understandable. You're wanting to honor his space and time for him to heal. You're not wanting to bring certain things up around that. But you also want to say what you want to say because you have this time with your father. You have this time that you believe may be shortened is what the belief is. So here's what I would suggest around that. So 2 things I would suggest when we're in this space. One, I would write down everything you want to say. Write it down, and do not edit yourself. This is another thing about you, like you would write it and you would go back. So this is what I'm seeing kind of here. You're not really saying
it's in my blood.
Yeah, you're not running to say, no, you don't have to give it to him yet. But I want you to get it out of your system, because this is where the conflict is it's been sitting here for a long time and in here for a long time. So get it out. So literally take pieces of paper. You can do this for about however long this takes you, a few days. You don't have to get everything out in one sitting. You can just take a few days to do this. But literally say it how you really want to say it, and give yourself the parameters of nobody's going to read this. I don't need to share this if I don't want to. I just need to get it out of my body. I need to transfer this out of my system. There's a few reasons why for this. One, because stuck emotions are going to affect you eventually.
Yeah.
Two, when you transfer this out, a lot of times when it comes out, you get your vibration raises and you get access to another understanding of how to communicate this in a way that will be in alignment with what you want here, which is to allow your father the space he needs to heal, but to also honor what you need to do to feel whole and to feel connected to yourself. And also to honor this transition of that the two of you are having together. So you want to get this out. That's number one. Number two, so one, I would give you, your homework would be, this week, by probably this end of this week, to have written this letter, right? I don't want you to procrastinate this anymore, like to just do it, to just get it out. And again, you could even, once you get it out, just depending on how you feel. Now, I don't want you to think about this until you get it out, but when you get it out, depending on what the energy, what you feel in yourself, you could give it to him, you could burn it and release it, you could save it, but you'll realize whatever you want to do once you have the release of, I said everything and I said it how I wanted to say it. And literally, if there's cursing, if there's tears, if tears fall onto the paper, if there's anything, let it exactly come out how you want it to come out so that it can be released. The other way is there's some things that there's some things you've been wanting to say to your father for a long time. Some of this in your field is you don't know how receptive he would be to it. And this is why you've not been doing it. As a matter of fact, there's some fear around his receptivity to it. So when we have this type of thing, what you can do is go to his soul, go directly to his higher self and speak to that higher self to higher self. So what I would suggest practice to do this exercise, to do this. And again, it kind of helps if you have this letter. You can use this letter with this. You can do either or, but if you do them both together, it's even more powerful. So I'll give you the first way is with the letter. So if you have the letter, you sit down, you can sit down in a chair somewhere, and you're just going to do a brief kind of meditation to kind of just breathing, nothing major, you don't need to imagine anything, just breathe, get the body relaxed. And then imagine that your father's higher self is in the space, that his soul is sitting with you, the part of him that is whole, that is connected to love, that is loving, right? Imagine that aspect of him is sitting in front of you. And if you have the letter, read the letter to that soul. And you can ask that soul, because when you're speaking from higher soul, we do hear we're all connected from in that energy space. So this literally will have effects, especially if you do this consistently. So if you can talk to his soul and tell the soul what you want the soul to hear, what you may need, like if there's something I really would have liked an apology around this, or I really would like you to tell me more about something like that, or I really would like more connection and conversation with you, whatever it is that you need or you're wanting, speak to his soul and try to do that. If you can do it with the letter. If you don't want to do it with the letter, you can just take, 3 minutes, 4 minutes a day and just do this and have this imagination and talk. And what you'll notice, if you will do this consistently, it usually takes it can happen quickly, but usually it takes about 3 or 4 days. If you do it consistently, you'll start to see evidence of what you've been doing start to come into your relationship with your father. He'll start to mention something that you were talking about, or like something you asked for, I really like to talk about this with you, but you don't really open up, but I really would like, can you please speak to me? All of a sudden he starts to talk about this. But you don't have to, what we run into a lot of times, our conflict is we see this iteration of our loved one, and we're having conflict with this one and not seeing the wholeness of them. So go to the wholeness of them and speak to that and watch and see how that shifts. But it usually has even more dramatic effects once you've done the letter. So try that. And let me see if there's anything else here around your energy with this. So there's also this thing they're showing me. Okay, so there's some type of, so they're saying laugh more with him in his sessions. I don't know what the sessions are, so he might be getting some type of treatment or something. But laugh, but even not just even during the session, but laugh with, like, talk about things that were light and funny.
Yeah.
With you, and it lifts his energy, and he's going to be ready to reveal more, is what I'm seeing. Okay, so when he's lifted, he reveals, he's more defense down, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
And he'll reveal more. But all of this together, but this is and there's this last piece of you have time, but that is no excuse to procrastinate this.
Yeah.
You have time, but there's no reason to procrastinate, because this is starting, it's affecting you.
Yeah.
And we don't want that. And the conflict energy there when you're with him. So this is the last piece. The conflict energy of things unsaid. I really want this to be this way, but it's not. That energy you're sharing with him in his healing process, and it's affecting that too.
Yeah.
You understand? You get that.
Yeah.
So you want to be as clear as a channel as you can in this, in his hearing process, but more so for you, for your development, for your happiness, for your well-being. Because when you are in the well space, you also send that to him. So when you're in relationship with him, you lift him, even without having to do anything. You lift him into that. So this is all that. It's simple. It's going to be a little bit challenging for you because you've not done it.
Yeah.
Right. But it's nothing more than that. You just have to give yourself some courage and some space, and be kind to yourself, and give yourself the permission slip to really express how you really feel on this paper. And this is going to help you, because nobody's going to have to see this. So you can say exactly what you just get it all. And I want to reiterate one more time, no holds barred on this paper. Okay. No holds barred. You say exactly what you want to say, exactly what you've been holding back. Don't try to make it cute. Don't try to make it sweet. Don't try to make it, say it how it wants to be said. And then once it's out, breathe, feel the lightness in your field, and then you'll be guided to what's next.
Yeah.
Okay.
You really got my number. Thank you.
Much, 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 much love. Thank you so much. All right.